Michelle Trachtenberg, Hayden Panettiere, Kim Cattrall, Joan Cusack, Connie Ray, 2005's Ice Princess. Yes, it seems possibly incredibly bizarre that not only did I watch that movie, but I'm reviewing it. Connie Ray she starred as the mother on The Torkelsons and then the follow-up season series Almost Home, which is probably why the algorithm started recommending to me to watch Ice Princess from 2005. I started it, I watched a few minutes, I was absolutely convinced that I would turn it off, and then I ended up getting drawn into it. So Ice Princess is, quick synopsis, a story of two high school girls. One is a figure skater, one is an amateur skater, should say, just for fun, and a nerd and a physics nerd. It gives you all the impression of a standard sort of the Disney timid version of a teenage angst movie that will be predictably about popular people learning a lesson through the help of an unpopular nerd or a geek. And that's not actually what occurs in the movie at all. It's also the story of mothers and daughters in a way that everything that you expect is going to happen at various points in the movie, it tends to take a different turn. And that's what I found so fascinating. There is this thing in mythology of the hero's journey. Very often the hero who comes from nowhere and nothing finds a mysterious quest and ends up saving the world, saving the princess, the country, the galaxy, depending on the franchise. It's one of the oldest themes in all human literature. Normally, it involves the father and the son, the father either having his quest in life fulfilled by his son, or things he has done wrong be redeemed by his son. It's part of that sort of natural angst of our limited lifespan and hopes that the future generation will carry on and do better, or carry on and fix the things I failed at. We don't get it in classic literature as frequently involving mothers and daughters, but that doesn't mean anything as far as clearly that happens. Clearly mothers feel the same way about their daughters, and what this movie, Ice Princess, does is it gives us a story of these two mothers who in their own ways are living out their dreams through their daughters. Now, that's not particularly all that unique, but the fascinating turn of events. Joan Cusack plays a mother who is an ardent feminist. She's a professor of literature and intellectual. She looks down on things which are beauty-oriented, popularity-oriented. She looks at figure skating as being jumping around the ice in cute little outfits. She represents a certain type of feminism that judges and degrades women's choices if they don't match theirs, meaning rather than just allowing women more choices through feminism, any woman who likes to bake or wants to stay at the house and raise children or wants to be whatever, if you don't fit their idea of what a liberated woman should be, they look down on you. And so Joan Cusack plays this kind of mother. She despises her daughter's dream. As her daughter discovers this dream of becoming a figure skater, her mother looks down on her like it is a failure. On the other hand, Kim Cattrall plays the mother of the figure skater who is a failed competitive figure skater. Well, she had a certain level of success, but she did not make it to where she would want to be, ended up ostracized for reasons that come out in the plot. And now she wants her daughter to live up to her dream. This is very much the father redeemed by the son, except it's the mothers seeking redemption through the daughters, as it turns out, wanting their daughter to be the thing that they aspire to, but really wanting to control and apply their dreams to their kids, which unfortunately happens a lot. I mean, you always have aspirations, for your kids, and you always want to encourage them, and you kind of hope they have your interests, because I don't know, that's a whole complicated thing. But then we all know there's a line at which some people overdo it. And these ladies are both examples of ladies that have overdone it. But the really insightful thing about the movie, I should say insightful, that the really engaging, interesting thing was it was unpredictable. And it wasn't unpredictable in a poor writing sort of way. It wasn't unpredictable like new Star Wars, where suddenly a TIE fighter can go to the crust of the galaxy without a hyperdrive because you don't even care about the details sort of way. It's unexpected because we see the characters develop in a profound personal way that ends up being different. Right when you think that the coach is no good, she sets up Michelle Trachtenberg's character by disguising as an act of generosity, buying her brand new skates without telling her that they need to be broken in, ruining her feet and causing her to be bumped out of a competition or bumped down. You reach this point where you went from looking at her as a over competitive, over pushy mom to an evil person, and you're like, there's the bad guy. There's the bad guy. But then on a turn, you get feminist Joan Cusack, who totally mistreats her daughter emotionally, manipulatively, and just, there's no words for the heartbreaking way she treats her like garbage because she wants to follow her dream and be a figure skater. And then finally, when we get to a climax where it comes to head, you hate Joan Cusack, you hate the coach, you think they're both bad people. Mother comes through and actually stands up for Michelle Trachtenberg. Joan Cusack's character stands up for her daughter, and then you feel like she's a little bit redeemed. And then you have this shocking thing that happens where Michelle Trachtenberg gets Kim Cattrall to be her coach. After her own daughter refuses to take the abuse anymore and continue on figure skating, Michelle Trachtenberg's character happily switches over and lets her coach her. After she mistreated her, after she cheated her deceptively, after it takes on a whole fascinating redemption arc that by the end, the coach has made good on both her ambitions and her failures. And of course, Joan Cusack comes to the tournament, and by the end, they're sharing, the coach and the mom are having little debates about what happens next. And it doesn't end with some giant triumph that she's the champion of the world. It ends with Michelle Trachtenberg's character is now on a course for both figure skating and college, things that she cared about. And both of these women have come to grips with their own past. The overambitious one that cheated and bullied, and even the feminist one, Joan Cusack, who does finally admit in an angst-ridden moment with her daughter that she was always so jealous of those popular people, which is amazing and shocking, because there is a lot of that in nerd culture and a lot of that in some of this feminist culture of resentment against the popular kids that bullied us or that we secretly wanted to be, or we just didn't like how held up that they were. But she actually comes out with it and admits it openly to her own daughter that she was so jealous of them, and that was the key. That was the key to her disdain. So as they all come to grips with this, they sort of leave happily. Hayden Panettiere's character will be doing whatever she wants to do in relation to not being a competitive figure skater anymore. But the mom and the coach will be sharing Michelle Trachtenberg's character, and they don't give us the happily ever after outcome in the sense of we see her at the Olympics. Maybe they were setting up for a sequel, but they just journey off together on this journey of life at the end. It's really sort of amazing stuff. And again, yeah, I'm coming back to it. I can't believe I sat through the whole Disney movie about teenage figure skaters. And I don't know what's weirder, that I watched that whole movie or that I liked it enough that I wanted to record a review, or that I did record a review. But it was a good, solid example of good writing, of bringing these characters out in this way that was very real. It was very heartfelt. It wasn't random. It wasn't coming out of nowhere weird dialogue. It was well written narrative, and yet to the degree that it happily fulfilled some expectations, mostly it gave you things you didn't expect, but in a satisfying way, entertainment wise and emotionally. Like this was good stuff. I can't even imagine. I put it on my list of movies that if they were making it now, it would be trash, because they would fill it full of every ridiculous, trite stereotype that begins to emerge 30 seconds into any show. And they did not do that. They really took a hard look at the feminist, at the competitive woman athlete coach. They really brought them to look hard at themselves and open up about themselves in a way that explored the human condition, shockingly, in this movie that you didn't expect from any of the previews or the images or even the cast. Even though all of them have fine acting credits, you weren't expecting this kind of drama and for it to realistically play out in a satisfying way, intellectually and emotionally, in that setting, which in and of itself says something about how that successfully subverts your expectations. So believe it or not, go watch Ice Princess. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was amazing. Maybe I'm out of my mind. Maybe I've watched too many movies. I'm reading too much into them, but I don't think so. I thought it was something. Look at this. My goggles are fogging up. I get so excited. Anyway, thanks for being here. Leave me any comments below, and we will see you next time. Oh, and Merry Christmas, and God bless America.